Practical tips on how to develop a growth mindset. A growth mindset is a belief that your intelligence, personality, character, and abilities can be developed through effort and practice. That could also mean believing in yourself, regardless of what everyone around thinks. If you have this type of mindset, then you won't feel like you're being held back by other people. You'll instead focus on improving your skill sets, talents, and capabilities. But what if you're not naturally inclined to think positively? What if you've been told all your life that you're dumb or stupid? While that might be a sad reality, it doesn't have to be true. The most effective way to do this is to start thinking differently. Here are some tips on how to develop a growth mindset so you can succeed. Start by challenging your own negative thinking. When you have a growth mindset, you tend to look at things in a more optimistic way. You're less likely to get discouraged when you fail. Instead, you'll try new ways of doing things. You might also discover that you have the capacity for achievement, whatever it is you want to do. In other words, if you want to change how you feel about yourself, you need to change your thoughts. Here are 3 practical steps on how to do just this. Challenge negative thoughts. When you notice a thought creeping into your mind, stop it before it takes root. For example, if you catch yourself saying, "I'm no good," you might say something like, "That's ridiculous." Building habits on positive thoughts can help you feel better about yourself and reduce negative self-talk. Once you've challenged a negative thought, take steps to prove that your initial thoughts are wrong. For instance, if you doubt you have good writing skills, challenge yourself to write for 30 days straight and monitor your progress. Usually, when you do this, you'll find some improvements in your writing skills, which will make you realize that you could continuously improve if you learn and practice consistently enough. Focus on the positive. Don't focus on all of the things you don't know. Instead, focus on what you know and be excited about learning new skills and growing. Believe that you can grow and change. If you want a more successful life, you need to start thinking like you can do anything you put your heart and mind into. In other words, believing in yourself and your abilities can do wonders for your life. So go ahead, learn from your mistakes, and try new things. You might fail, but the important thing is that you tried and you learned from it. Consider each failure as a springboard for growth. Focus on your strengths and use them to propel yourself forward. We often underestimate ourselves, but the truth is we each have unique gifts and talents. And if we want to emerge stronger and better, we must first learn to focus on our strengths. Once you know your strengths, use those to create a plan for success. You can then take action toward achieving your goals. Set goals that challenge you but are achievable. Goals help us achieve our dreams. They give us direction and motivation. This is because they set goals that aren't specific enough or challenging enough. So, how do you set realistic goals for yourself so you can develop a more positive outlook in life? Try creating achievable goals that are specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and, most importantly, time-bound. That way, you won't end up setting goals that are impossible to achieve. If this is your first time setting goals, you might want to read our other articles about why goals are important and some tips on how to create attainable goals. Visualize yourself achieving your goals. It might sound cliché, but visualizations work for our brains just as much as they do for the rest of us. Because, come to think of it, we often get scared when we visualize something scary. Or, a mental picture of something we aspire gets our motivation levels on high. It happens to most of us, and goals are no different. If you visualize the results often enough, your motivations will rise, and you'll feel motivated to pursue your goal. In other words, a healthy dose of visualization can help you achieve more in life. Therefore, try to use visualization to boost your motivation. Simply imagine what it would feel like to win against those obstacles or how good it feels to accomplish something. Remember that mistakes are part of the learning process. People with growth mindsets realize that they're not perfect and that they make mistakes. So, instead of beating themselves up over their failures, they simply learn from them and move on. This helps them become better at what they do and makes them less likely to repeat the same mistake. And if you want to become better and develop a growth mindset, you should do the same thing. You may not always succeed in accomplishing everything by yourself. But the important thing is you learn from these experiences and grow from them. Persevere even when things get tough. During difficult times, you might feel like losing hope. You may be tempted to believe that your situation is hopeless. If this happens to you, know that you can still succeed. There's no need to give up. Perhaps, you just need to look hard enough. After all, it's almost impossible to grow without difficult challenges. And if you want to succeed in life, you must face the challenge head-on. All you need to do is to take action and make things happen. Think of your setbacks as temporary roadblocks on your path to success. Many people have trouble with the concept of failure. However, if you can learn how to view failures as opportunities for learning, then you'll be able to use them to improve yourself. Because failures can either be a permanent roadblock or an opportunity for growth and improvement. If you fail at something, you are not necessarily bad at it. It could also mean your skill level is low on this subject matter. You may need more practice to get better at it. Or maybe you haven't found the right resources yet. Either way, you'll have to work harder than you did before to boost your chances of success. The critical thing here is that you should never feel like you failed because you didn't meet someone else's expectations. Instead, focus on what you learned from your experience. And remember, if you want to succeed, you must first accept and embrace failure. Think about your successes in terms of how they've helped you learn and grow. Success can come in different forms. Regardless of how big or small your accomplishments are, the bottom line is that you've accomplished something, and it is worth something. So, if you've encountered a roadblock, think about your previous successes. How did you achieve them? Take the things you've learned from your previous successes and see if you can apply them in your current situation. You may realize that you need to be more persistent, or maybe you should have worked harder on your project. Whatever it is, you will find out what works for you. And when you do, you'll know exactly what to do next time around. Stay focused on what you can do, not what you can't. When you encounter a setback, it's easy to lose sight of why you started doing something in the first place. This is especially true if you're trying to accomplish something big. But even if you're working towards a smaller goal, staying focused on what you can do and control is essential. Because let's face it, no one has ever achieved anything significant by focusing on things they can't do. Instead, successful people do the opposite, they work on what they can do. Take pride in your accomplishments, even when they're small. When you feel like you've accomplished a goal, it's essential to take a moment to celebrate. You don't have to go overboard, but it's always a good idea to acknowledge that you did something remarkable. Because here's the thing, this alone will help you build self-esteem and boost your confidence in the future. So go ahead, and celebrate your small wins. Keep learning and growing. If you want to grow, you have to learn, because the more knowledge you gain, the better prepared you'll be when you encounter bigger obstacles for bigger goals. And here's the good news. A positive mindset can get you through anything and opens up opportunities for growth. So how do you learn? Read books. Reading books helps you expand your mind and gives you new perspectives. It also provides you with inspiration and motivation. Watch movies. Movies teach valuable lessons and give insight into other cultures and lifestyles. Plus, watching movies can make you laugh and relax at the same time. Listen to music. Music teaches you about life and inspires you to create art. Join a club. Joining clubs or organizations can provide you with new friends, mentors, and opportunities to network. Volunteer. Making a difference in the lives of others, and feeling good about yourself are two of the benefits of volunteering. Attend events. Attending events can help you meet new people and learn new skill sets. Travel. Exploring other cultures and broadening your horizons are some of the best things about traveling. Learn a language. Learning a foreign language can open up new doors for you. Start a business. Starting a business can be challenging, but it can be rewarding if you're willing to put in the effort. I hope this list helps you find some ideas that you can use to improve your mindset. Remember, there is no right way to think, only the best way for you. But if you keep trying different methods, I'm sure you'll find what works for you. If you want a growth mindset, you will always strive to improve yourself. And when you do, you'll soon find that you have become better than you were before. This is true for everything from sports to academics to relationships. When you believe that you can grow, you will. Do you have any tips on how to develop a growth mindset? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We're rolling out tons of content about productivity, self-improvement, and motivation in the next few weeks, so stay tuned. Thanks again for watching, and we hope to see you in the next video. Let me know in the comments below.